Hey guys, imagine earning a college degree without paying any tuition. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? For many years, the high cost of college has discouraged people from pursuing higher education because they simply couldn't afford it. I'm one of them. But today, for thousands of Massachusetts residents attending community college, tuition free has become a reality. But this raises an important question. If tuition is free, does that really mean college is free? Today, I'd like to explain how Massachusetts' free community college program is changing higher education and why the true cost of earning a college degree extends far beyond tuition alone. I chose this topic because I'm currently attending college through Massachusetts' tuition free program. It's made a tremendous difference in reducing my educational expenses and has allowed me to focus more on my studies instead of worrying about paying tuition at the end of every semester. At the same time, I've learned that there are still many other costs associated with going to college that people often overlook. Now, some of these don't apply to me personally because I'm taking online college, but in my research, I've uncovered that a lot of people that are taking advantage of this program are going to school full time. So, whether you're attending college now, planning to continue your education after graduating from Quinsigamond, or simply know someone pursuing a degree, understanding the true cost of higher education affects all of us. Today, I'll discuss three main points. First, I'll explain what Massachusetts' free community college program is and why it was created. Then I'll talk about the hidden costs students will face even when the tuition is free. Finally, I'll discuss the benefits of free community college while also looking at some of its limitations. Now that we've established why this topic is important, let's begin by looking at what Massachusetts actually offers. For decades, one of the biggest obstacles preventing people from attending college has simply been the cost. Tuition has steadily increased over the years, making higher education seem out of reach for many families. Recognizing this problem, Massachusetts introduced the Mass Educate program to make community college more affordable for eligible residents. The program covers tuition and mandatory fees for qualifying Massachusetts residents. According to the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education, this means eligible students can attend one of the state's public community colleges without paying tuition or required fees. This significantly reduces one of the largest financial barriers to higher education. This doesn't just help with recent high school graduates. The program also benefits adults who may have delayed going to college because of financial concerns. Parents returning to school after raising children, and individuals looking to change careers or gain new skills, such as myself. By making education more affordable, the program creates opportunities for people from many different backgrounds. But why did Massachusetts decide to invest in free community college? There are several important reasons. First, the state wants to increase college enrollment by removing financial barriers. Second, it hopes to build a stronger workforce by preparing more residents for skilled careers. And finally, reducing tuition helps students graduate with less debt, allowing them to begin their careers with greater financial stability. Research suggests that these goals are already achievable through tuition-free community college programs. Um, a Federal Trade Commission study found that making community college tuition-free could increase overall enrollment by 26%. That statistic alone is impressive. But an even more meaningful finding is who those additional students are. The same study found that 83% of that 26% in community college enrollment came from students who would otherwise not have attended college because of the financial barriers. Think about what that means for a moment. These aren't students simply transferring from one college to another because tuition is cheaper. Instead, they represent people who might never have attended college without the opportunity to do so tuition free. That means free community college isn't just shifting students around with higher education, it's actually expanding access to people who previously believed college wasn't financially possible. This is important because education often leads to better employment opportunities, higher lifetime earnings, and stronger local economies. When more people have access to higher education, the benefits extend beyond individual students to employers, communities, and the state as a whole. So while tuition-free community college removes one major financial obstacle, it doesn't eliminate every expense associated with earning a degree. Although tuition is covered, students quickly discover that college still comes with many additional expenses that can significantly affect the overall cost of higher education. So now that we've talked about free community college, about how free community college removes one of the biggest barriers to higher education, let's look at the cost that students still have to pay. When most students think about paying for college, the first thing that comes to mind is tuition. But tuition is actually only one piece of the financial picture. Even when tuition is fully covered, students continue to face many other expenses that can make earning a degree challenging. For example, students still have to purchase textbooks, which can cost hundreds of dollars each semester, depending on where you go. Quinsigamond, we don't purchase our own textbooks. Many students also need reliable transportation to get to and from campus, whether it's paying for gas, public transportation, or vehicle maintenance. There are also everyday living expenses like food, internet access, school supplies, printing costs, parking permits, in many cases, a laptop capable of completing online assignments. For students with children, childcare becomes another significant expense. Even if tuition is free, someone still has to care for their children while they're attending class or studying. These costs can add up quickly and can often just be just as stressful as tuition itself. According to the College Board, the total cost of attending college includes much more than tuition. Students must also budget for housing, food, books, transportation, and other personal expenses. In fact, during the 2023-2024 academic year, the average student attending a public two-year college paid approximately $3,990 in tuition and fees, but spent nearly $9,970 on housing and food alone. Think about those numbers for a moment. Housing and food cost more than twice as much as tuition. That means that if tuition is completely eliminated, students are still responsible for thousands of dollars in other necessary expenses every year. This is why many people say that free tuition is only one piece of making higher education affordable. There's another type of cost that's often overlooked because it doesn't appear on a tuition bill. Economists call this an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost refers to what someone gives up in order to pursue something else. For college students, the opportunity cost includes income, work experience, and personal time. Many students reduce their work hours so they can attend classes, complete homework, and study for exams. I've done this myself. I normally work 45 hours a week or more, and I've limited myself to a maximum of 40. Others delay entering the workforce full time because they're investing several years in earning a degree. For students who are parents or caregivers, college also means balancing family responsibilities with coursework, often sacrificing earnings, weekends, and personal time. These sacrifices are very real, even though they don't appear on a financial aid statement. But the National Center for Education Statistics report that 62% of undergraduate students who work while enrolled in college, including 26% who work full time. In addition, 28% of undergraduate students have dependent children. Those statistics tell us something very important. Many students aren't just going to school. They're also employees, parents, caregivers, and providers of their families. They're constantly making difficult decisions about how to divide their time between earning money, taking care of loved ones, and completing their education. As someone attending community college myself, I understand this balancing act. Even though I don't have to worry about paying tuition, I still have to manage all of the other responsibilities and expenses that come with being a student. Free tuition certainly helps, but it doesn't eliminate the time, effort, and financial planning required to earn a degree. When we look at all these hidden expenses and opportunity costs together, it becomes clear that the true cost of higher education extends well beyond the tuition bill. Although students continue to face these challenges, tuition free community college still offers significant benefits. At the same time, it's important to recognize that no program is perfect, and there are still some limitations that students should understand. So far, we've discussed how Massachusetts tuition free community college program makes higher education more accessible and how students continue to face many hidden expenses. Now, I'd like to look at the overall impact of these programs. Like most public policies, free community college has both important benefits and some limitations. Let's begin with the benefits. The most obvious benefit is that students graduate with less debt. Student loan debt has become one of the biggest financial challenges facing young adults today. Graduates often spend years or even decades repaying student loans. By removing tuition costs during the first 2 years of college, students can borrow less money and begin their careers on a stronger financial footing. Another major benefit is increased access to education. We've already seen that tuition-free community college encourages more people to attend college, especially individuals who may have never considered higher education because of the financial barriers. Expanding access means more people have the opportunity to improve their skills, qualify for better paying careers, and contribute to the workforce. This benefits not only individual students, but also employers and communities. Many industries throughout Massachusetts, including healthcare, education, manufacturing, and information technology, need workers with specialized education and training. By making community college more affordable, the state is investing and developing a more educated workforce that can help meet those needs. Free tuition also increases students' chances of actually completing their education. According to research from the Federal Trade Commission, students attending tuition-free community college are 20 to 22% more likely to complete their degrees than students who do not have access to these programs. This statistic is important because enrolling in college is only the first step. The ultimate goal is graduation. Earning a degree or certificate can lead to higher lifetime earnings, greater career opportunities, and improved financial stability. When students are less worried about paying tuition, they're often better able to focus on their coursework, remain enrolled, and finish their education. Even though the program offers many advantages, it is important to recognize that free community college is not a perfect solution. One limitation is that tuition free does not mean completely free. As we discussed earlier, students are not responsible or are still responsible for paying for textbooks, so on and so forth. These costs can still create financial stress, especially for students who are working and balancing with work and families. Another limitation is that not every student qualifies. Programs like Mass Educate have eligibility requirements, including residency requirements and other criteria established by the state. While the program helps many students, it's not available for everyone. One final limitation involves students who plan to earn a bachelor's degree. A community college typically represents only the first 2 years of higher education. After earning an associate's degree, many students transfer to a 4-year college or university to complete their bachelor's degree. At that point, tuition-free community college benefits generally end, and students may once again face high tuition costs and the possibility of taking out student loan. As the Federal Trade Commission points out, although tuition-free community college removes one significant financial barrier, many programs cover only tuition and mandatory fees, leaving students responsible for books, living expenses, so on. Um, as I conclude, I'd like you to think about the question I asked at the beginning of my speech. If college is tuition free, is it really free? Today we've learned that the answer is more complicated than it first appears. I'd like to leave you with this final thought. Free community college doesn't eliminate the true cost of higher education. It removes one of its biggest barriers. Understanding all of the costs involved allows students to make informed financial decisions and take full advantage of the educational opportunities available to them. Thank you all for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.